I'll be introducing the recipes for the chin-chin. For our chin-chin this morning, I'll be using bread flour.
Okay, we're using bread flour for our chin-chin.
I'll be using honey.
Honey! Wow!
White sugar. I'll be using honey. Okay. Then I'll be using cinnamon. In case if you don't have your nutmeg, use cinnamon. So I'll be using cinnamon.
Oh, fantastic!
I'll be using sea salt for taste.
Okay.
Then I'll be using milk.
Oh, fantastic!
I'll be using milk for our chin-chin. So that is all for our chin-chin this morning. And this chin-chin, I'm going to bake the chin-chin in our wonderful Saladmaster healthy cooking system called the electric skillet. That is the bad boy. It's about 5 cups of eggs.
Okay, about 5 cups of that.
Yes, 5 cups of the measuring cup. Okay, I've already mentioned this already.
So you can see the measuring cup, So all you need to do is to try and make sure you get these cups for measuring to get the standard, depending on the quantity you're making.
And when you're measuring the flour, you have to be putting the flour this way, not to press
So
down.
you don't allow the flour to sit because you get more quantity. Yeah, so you just measure like that.
Measure this way.
So we're using about 5 cups.
Yeah, 5 cups of this.
Okay.
And it depends on the quantity you are making.
So this is 5 cups here.
Yeah, 5 cups of measuring cups.
Yeah. So we have about 5 cups here.
So because you can use cinnamon if you don't have nutmeg. So I'll be using a little cinnamon because cinnamon has a very strong aroma. You can see just a little cinnamon.
So that quantity of cinnamon now is not even up to...
it's not, it's just like a pinch.
A pinch of cinnamon. A pinch of cinnamon for 5 cups. Mind you, a pinch of cinnamon for 5 cups of your bread flour. So it could be bread flour, it could be almond flour if you are trying to avoid the normal white flour because of gluten. Okay, and by the way, cinnamon actually helps to stabilize the blood sugar. So if you're diabetic and you're scared, cinnamon will actually help to regulate your blood sugar.
So for sea salt that I'm using this morning, you use the last of the measuring spoon, the smallest.
Okay, so you need to get it hasn't gone through any form of process at all. It's all in its natural state. But the table salt has gone through different kind of process and has been fortified. So sea salt is very healthy.
So for the honey, for the 5 cups of bread flour, you need 2 spoons. I don't want the chin-chin to be too sweet. Using teaspoon. Using a tablespoon.
A tablespoon.
2 tablespoons.
Okay, so for that 5 cups,
yes,
you get to use 2 tablespoons of honey. So normally you would rather probably use white sugar or granulated sugar, and because of health issues people are trying to avoid, but we're going to use honey. Now the thing about honey is this: honey is actually the glycemic index of honey is medium glycemic index, so in a way it still has a way to spike up your blood sugar level. But why we prefer to choose honey to the normal white sugar is because honey has so much more nutritional benefits. There are lots of antioxidants inside honey, and there are lots of other medicinal properties. It could actually help to stabilize your blood sugar and not your blood sugar now, your blood pressure. So that's why we prefer to use honey rather than your normal granulated sugar. So we recommend you use honey, and we're using 2 tablespoons of honey for about 5 cups of flour. Now, people are meticulous about the use of flour because of some kind of health issue or because they could have gluten. And that's the reason why you're staying away from the normal white flour. So you can still enjoy your chin-chin with bread flour like you just did, and almond flour and the likes.
So I'll be using the baking powder.
Okay.
I'm using baking powder. I'm using this spoon.
That's the last.
The second to the last.
Okay.
The smallest one.
So guys, all you need to do is get your measuring cups and your measuring spoons.
Put it on a level like this. When you put it, you just use your hand
to level up.
To level up this way.
Exactly, to level up. So that's the baking soda.
Yeah, the baking soda. That is baking powder.
Baking powder. So we have all our dry ingredients together.
So I'll be using milk. Be adding milk.
Okay, so we'll be adding milk. Now, the idea is to use healthy recipes, healthy alternative recipes. Okay, so you don't need to use your full cream milk from animal base. You can use your plant-based milk as well. Now, this chin-chin is very healthy. Even someone with cholesterol can still enjoy this chin-chin. Because you can use your coconut milk, it's plant-based. You could choose to use your almond milk, and also you could choose to use your tiger nut milk. Now, all these are healthy alternative recipes. So what's the next thing we're going to do?
So the next thing is that I'm going to mix the dough.
Okay, we have to
mix the dough. I don't want it to be too sticky, and I don't want it to be too soft or too strong. Okay. So when you notice that it's too hard in your hand, you have to add a little water.
So when it's too hard, you add water, just little.
Little water, then continue kneading.
So the idea is to knead all of this together. Remember, we have our bread flour. You could choose not to use the white flour, okay? Because the white flour might not be as healthy, and then you might want to stay away from the regular white flour. And that's why we have chosen to use the bread flour. And you could also choose to use your almond flour, which is very healthy. And then you could also choose to use your bread flour. They are better substitutes. I believe you get what I'm trying to say. And then your milk again is plant-based. You could choose to use your coconut milk, your almond milk, or tiger nut milk. And then we have cinnamon in there, about just a pinch of cinnamon. And then we also have sea salt. So this is actually the reason why this is way more healthy than the regular chin-chin. Coupled with the fact that we are not going to fry this in oil. Wow, this is really looking nice. Now the good thing about this, Chef Jessica, is that you have carefully chosen to use better substitutes. Exactly. So the issue with people and the choice of food is because of the health issues they have. So we have the bread flour there.
No, this is a bread flour. This is a
corn flour. Oh wow, fantastic. So we're actually using the corn flour.
Yes, corn flour, because I don't want this thing to be sticking on the chopping board.
Okay, okay. So viewers, the reason why we have chosen to use the corn flour on the palette is so that it doesn't stick. It doesn't stick on the surface.
It's not sticking on my hands.
It's not exactly. So that's the reason why you just spread your corn flour.
And I'm not using a board, a rolling board. I'm going to use my hand.
Okay, is there a reason why we have chosen not to use a rolling board?
The rolling board is because I don't want it to be too flat. You know, I'm baking, I'm not frying. Okay. When you are frying, you can use that rolling board or rolling pin. Yeah, I need to say rolling pin to just flatten it. But because I'm baking, you know, it's different from baking and frying. I'm not going to fry this with oil.
Wow, so we have the cutter.
Yeah, so I'm using the cutter.
So viewers, these are the things you need for your chin-chin to make your healthy chin-chin. So we use the cutter to just cut them in the shapes and sizes.
Depending on the shapes, you can cut them long, short, round, depending on the size you want, the shapes you want.
Wow, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. Guys, the idea behind this is to make sure that you are able to eat what you love to eat the most, but in a very healthy way. And that's why Chef Jessica had taken her time to carefully choosing the better alternative, way more healthy ingredients to do this chin-chin. So we have our cutting our chin-chin. And the good thing about this particular method or this particular style we have carefully chosen to bake our chin-chin is because we have eliminated oil completely from this. No single drop of oil. Before now, I would think that without oil, you can't get your chin-chin. And that's the reason why people that have health issues and health challenge are steering away from eating chin-chin. Someone with high cholesterol will say, I don't want to eat chin-chin because it's going to increase my cholesterol. That's because of the amount of oil in the chin-chin. Someone with blood pressure will say, I don't want to eat chin-chin because of the amount of oil. So that's why they refuse to eat chin-chin. But this time around, guys, we have carefully chosen better, way more healthy alternative recipes and ingredients. And also we have chosen not to fry as the bad boy.
Baking paper in there. So I'll be heating this up.
Okay, so that's the... at what temperature are we going to be
I'm
using?
going to put it at 230.
Wow.
Just for 3 minutes to preheat.
To preheat.
Just 3 minutes.
So we have the cord from the bad boy,
yes,
and we are preheating at 230 degrees.
230.
Fantastic. So for how long do we preheat?
Just for 3 minutes, not 2 to 3 minutes, then it's ready. So
About
this
2 to
is
3
it.
minutes.
So I'm going to be baking this chin-chin inside the electric skillet. I'm not going to be frying with oil. I'm going to be baking this, and it's going to come out crunchy and sweet, yummy.
Interesting. I'm excited. I really can't wait to have a feel of this. And we have our toner. Is that what you're using?
Yes, I'm using the toner, the Saladmaster toner.
Wow, interesting. Wow. So we have our chin-chin. Instead of going straight into the oil,
yes, so you can see that I use the corn flour to dust the chin-chin so that it doesn't stick together, to be separated once we start baking.
Okay. So now the corn flour is actually doing a whole lot of job.
So now I'm going to remove the cord again and reduce the heat. I'm going to reduce it to 130.
Okay, so we are using 130
to bake the chin-chin. Then I'm going to totally cover because I'm baking and not frying. When I'm frying, I try to let this way, but because I'm baking, I'm going to cover them totally.
Oh wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
I can feel that. Wow, just that this is actually coming through very nice, very nice. I love this. So we allow that to continue baking.
Allow that to continue baking.
Wow. The chin is ready, but what we're trying to do is to increase the electric skillet to golden brown. We're trying to increase that to golden brown, so we're increasing it from 130 to 150.